Young, good-looking, outfitting his sailboat down there? Oh, all day. Stop it!
A couple is staying in a beautiful summer beach house on Cape Cod and everything at first seems normal. Martin is a millionaire investment counselor, while Laura is allowed to do nothing. It looks like they're about to go to a little social gathering on the Cape. Martin is a calm man on the outside, but when he comes home, he completely changes. He always wanted to control Laura and be intimate with her anytime they were free. Laura doesn't have any rights in this house. She must be obeyed by Martin. Despite residing in a grand home, Laura feels trapped within its walls. She is forbidden from engaging in any activities. The following morning, Martin entered the bathroom and noticed the tiles disarray. Being obsessive-compulsive, he demands that Laura keep everything in the household impeccably arranged. Reluctantly, Laura must comply with Martin's every directive. Later, while strolling along the beach, Martin encountered a man with a sailboat. The two then struck up a conversation. The man on the train complimented Martin's house as the most beautiful he had ever seen. Martin also responded that he really liked his boat. Through a conversation with the man on the boat, Martin learned that Laura often stood by the window to look at him. Martin was extremely angry and returned to his house, suddenly slapping Laura, causing Laura to fall to the floor. After beating and cursing Laura, Martin suddenly became gentle. He quickly apologized to Laura and gently caressed her cheek. "I'm sure you're as disgusted with him as I was." Laura hasn't come up with an escape plan as of yet. So basically she just maintains this very submissive personality, trying to save herself from being brutally abused. It seems Martin has obsessive-compulsive disorder, and he doesn't want Laura to leave him. Occasionally he would treat Laura gently, even giving her a bouquet, and then the two would make intimate love. One night, Martin accepts the invitation of their neighbor, a doctor, for an evening sail, despite knowing that Laura fears water and cannot swim. It was raining heavily, but this made Martin even more excited because he always had strange hobbies. Laura was terrified due to a childhood incident where she nearly drowned, instilling in her a deep fear of water. When a sudden, fierce storm hits, Martin and the doctor fight to manage the boat. Laura is thrown overboard. Martin yells her name, but hears no reply. Laura is gone. Following a lengthy Coast Guard operation, Laura is declared presumed drowned, leaving Martin devastated. Stricken with sorrow, Martin heads back home, engulfed in sadness. A few days later, Laura's funeral was held. Martin stared at Laura's grave in front of him, and still couldn't believe the fact that he had lost her forever. But surprisingly, no one knew that Laura was still alive, and the accident was just her plan. The truth is that she is not afraid of water. She secretly learned to swim and planned to fake her own death to escape Martin's abusive and obsessive acts. During a storm, she jumped overboard, swam ashore, and returned home. She cut her hair, donned a wig, took her stashed belongings and money, and headed to a nearby bus station. She also took off the ring that Martin had given her. Laura moves to Cedar Falls, Iowa, where she hopes to disappear and start a new life. She gets accustomed to her new life pretty quickly and starts messing up the towels and punching the seasonings and canned goods in the cabinet, just enjoying her new freedom. Earlier, Laura had misled Martin by claiming that her blind, stroke-afflicted mother Chloe had passed away, when in reality, she had covertly relocated Chloe to a nursing home in Iowa. Laura rents a residence, secures employment, and begins anew under the alias Sarah Waters. Her neighbor, Ben Woodward, a young drama instructor at a nearby college, finds himself drawn to Laura. Meanwhile, Martin remains unconvinced of Laura's death and resolves to keep searching for her. A few days later, Ben visits Laura to acquaint himself and poses some straightforward questions, but Laura responds enigmatically, careful not to disclose her true identity. Ben suspects that Laura has had a troubled past. Martin receives information indicating that Laura may still be alive. He rushes back to the Cape and starts going through Laura's things. Once he starts rifling through the makeup drawer, he gets cut on something and goes over the toilet, where he notices the wedding ring. After that, Martin began to investigate, and the truth gradually became clear. Martin discovers Laura's lies. First of all, that her mother has passed away. Martin then went to visit Laura's mother. Meanwhile, Laura did not know that Martin had discovered her lie. Laura is still enjoying happy times with Ben. This is the first time in many years that Laura has received so much love. They have an agreeable date, but when a kiss turns more physical, Laura resists and demands that Ben leave. She later admits to him that she escaped an abusive marriage and that her ex-husband has been stalking her. Ben looked at Laura's frightened appearance, unable to imagine what she had gone through. The next day, Laura disguised herself as a man to visit her mother. Coincidentally, Martin was also there that day. The two almost ran into each other while drinking water, but luckily Laura turned away before Martin noticed her. Martin asked the nurse about the nephew who came to visit Chloe, and realized it seemed to be Laura. Martin chased her outside, but Laura was gone. Martin re-entered Chloe's room, deceitfully posing as a police officer investigating Laura's disappearance. He claimed that Laura's ex-husband was pursuing her, and that the police required her address for protection. Wanting to safeguard her daughter, the mother disclosed Laura's current address. It was also unveiled that Laura has a neighbor named Ben, who she knows. Having gathered the necessary information, Martin planned to smother Chloe with a pillow. But fortunately, a nurse intervened just in time to stop him. Martin went to the address Chloe provided and quickly found Ben. He secretly followed Ben and saw his wife with Ben. Seeing his beloved wife smiling and kissing another man, Martin was extremely angry. Martin took advantage of the two of them having fun, breaking into Laura's house and leaving some signs. Laura notices the small clues Martin deliberately left inside the house. The hand towels perfectly aligned and the contents of the kitchen cabinets lined up to Martin's exacting standards. Laura was scared and tried to run away, but Martin came from behind, threatening her to stand still and not dare to move. At this moment, Ben came knocking on the door. Martin pointed the gun at Laura's head, threatening her not to reveal anything. Laura opened the door, saying she was busy right now and it wasn't convenient for him to come in. Ben saw Laura sobbing, knowing that something bad had happened. Ben pretended to leave. Then when Martin went back inside, Ben suddenly rushed in and attacked him from behind. As Martin aims his gun at Ben, Laura distracts him by slamming her knee into his groin. She grabs Martin's gun and holds him at gunpoint. As Laura calls the police, Martin expects her to tell the police to protect her from him, as she had done in the past. But Laura shocks Martin by informing the police she has killed an intruder, and then shoots Martin 3 times in the chest. A wounded Martin seizes Laura by the hair, grabs the gun, aiming it at her in a desperate attempt to kill her. But the gun clicks empty. Martin then dies from his wounds, while Laura and Ben embrace and wait for the police. That is the end of the movie. Through this film, we hope that those who are in a similar situation as Laura can courageously stand up and fight against evil to live a happy life. If you have any opinions about the movie, leave a comment below to let us know. Thank you for watching.